On today's Try to Finish Something, I wanted to share with you one more thing from my vacation in Maui. I talked in the last episode about some different celebrities that I ran into while in Maui, and this celebrity is a celebrity of a completely different nature. While in Maui, I got a chance to swim with turtles, and this is Penny. Penny is a sea turtle that a lot of people have met while they were in Maui, and I have to tell you, it was the most fascinating thing I've ever done. It's as close to space travel as I am ever going to do. Getting to be weightless under the water, floating around, and mingling with creatures that you really have absolutely no business hanging out with. It was fascinating, amazing, and a great experience, and something that I would really recommend if you ever get a chance to do it. But on today's Try to Finish Something, I've got to put a final bow on my hangar wall. I'm trying to create a display for my Mandalorian cosplay that got 501st approval, and I've made some things here and there, and I'm going to use them to achieve my overall look in this hangar wall. And I'm going to finish it. All of it. Even though I keep coming up with other ideas of things that I want to do, I'm going to try and stay focused, and I'm going to finish this hangar wall on today's Try to Finish Something. So, off camera, I was going on a greebly hunt. Greeblies are the little details from everyday objects that you turn into Star Wars objects, and you notice the Band-Aid on my finger and it's swollen like a sausage. Well, this was caused by this broken drill bit. The broken part dropped to the floor and the part still chucked into the drill when it broke. Yep, slipped off the motor that I was disassembling and drilled through my finger at the knuckle and stopped at the bone. Well, slap on a Band-Aid and some duct tape and that'll be good as new. I'll return to that motor later. Now, because I hoard things and never throw away failed prints and laser cuts that I have, these Death Star wall panels will help me hide the electrical plugs that I installed. I'm peeling off parts of the masking to hit it with spray paint and create some variance in color. I hit it with some white and some yellow, my accent color, and time for a little weathering. I have this circuit board from a business phone, and it has a few of the Cat 5 plugs in it that I'm going to use to attach some wire. So that needs to get weathered and attached. And yes, I did get that in cage off of that dryer motor. You can't beat me. You will become part of my wall that now needs to get weathered, and now that cage will protect the circuit on my wall. Mount all of this to the Death Star wall panel. And I have this drip line connector used to attach two hoses together, and I'm going to pound one end into the dryer motor cage, and the other side will attach to this flexible hose. Then plug in two different colored Cat 5 cables and feed that into the flexible hose and weather them. Yeah, I think this panel needs an LED. Ooh, maybe an orange LED. Why? I have no idea. I was mentioning in one of my Facebook nerd groups, I do a ton of little detail work and small things that no one will probably ever see. I do it because I hope that the small details add depth to the believability of the prop and makes it look more real. I could just be also wasting my time. I'm going to pretend it's the first option. Onto the door. I made a pattern of the real world shape and will trace that onto some super thin plywood that I had laying around. I'm going to cut 2 of them out with a jigsaw. You see, one will be the top layer and will have the door structure shapes cut out of it. I am using a small board and a pencil to trace an offset shape and a few horizontal panels. One at the top, one at the bottom, and then a wider one in the middle. Then I cut all of that out, sand, and glue it to the bottom layer. Now, some greeblies. I'm going to use the circle offcuts from my spray paint shelf I built and a few offcuts from that Hangar 32 sign. That's probably enough. I don't want to overdo it. Now, I'm going to paint the first layer with latex house paint. I actually want texture and brush strokes. I want it to look like this has been painted over and over by hangar lackeys who just didn't care. I'm going to do some toothpaste chips to have different layers of chipping show through. First to the gray, the base. Then I'll add black and more toothpaste. Then red, and wipe off the toothpaste for magic time. Now, before wiping this off, you can see I did do some black and tan overspray to get a bit of a head start on the weathering of the door. You know, really should have done a dry fit to make sure that this was all going to work before I painted it. That is super tight. I think this will only need 1 screw. Definitely a perfect pressure fit. Add my 1 screw and to use another scrap of that Death Star panel fail to create a piece for the door to cover that screw. super glue that on and weather the door, adding grime and some drips. Now the other side of that plug cover panel that I was making at the beginning needs a receptacle for the other end of that flexible tube. I'm just going to use a junction box, and I'll cut a piece of PVC and press that into the wall and pressure fit the box onto that PVC pipe. Now I just need some wire holders to hold that flexible tube, and speaking of wire holders, I found these on Amazon. They screw into something and then you can use zip ties to hold wires to a surface. I will use these to connect some wires to the control panel that Kelly Stern made. I like to have as much interaction as I can between my pieces on a prop and actually work together to do something. I zip them all up and use these two discs in the panel that already have holes in them to end the wires into. Ah, crap. I just saw an opportunity for some more light. That PVC junction box, if I drill a hole in it, I might be able to use that other Tractor Supply nightlight, and it might look pretty cool. Take this all apart and drill a hole for my electrical. Yes, I know. If I had thought of this before, I could have used that flexible tube that I already have, and I could have fed the wire through there. So what? You don't pre-plan everything, do you? All right, weather that, and yeah. I like it. It was worth it. Now, wire that small orange LED to power. I'm almost done. I want to add some of the stickers that Ado Morin made, being lazy this time and not going to put a protective seal on them, just print and weather. And I know it's probably going to pull off some of the ink, but I'm actually okay with that too. Place them where I want and weather those. All right, I'm finally done. I'm going to give you a full view, but here's what my concept was, and here's the final project. Now, for some close-up detail. And a few stills. All right, it's time to bring in Mando. Ah, crap. You know, I hate being wrong. My wife kept saying, the wall's too good to cover up with Mando. What do you know, I said. Ugh. Might have to move Mando in with my shore trooper into the build room and just leave the wall for display. Well, that's it. The hangar door is finally finished, and maybe too good. If you liked the video, please subscribe and tell a friend. And as always, if you didn't, just keep it to yourself. And we'll see you next time as we try to finish something.